So insulation in concrete insulated panels, or insulation on any building, is quite a big topic, because it comes down to cost of insulation, life cycle of the insulation, and it comes to the application, how easy it is to apply. As our base insulation, we use EPS insulation, which is typically your white insulation, and I will go through some of the reasons that we like this product, as well as some of the reasons that you have to be careful of. So EPS is the cheapest product you can get on the market. So let's say this is 30 cents a board foot. Meanwhile, XPS will be 90 or 80 cents a board foot. So it's 3 times the cost. So let's use XPS as an example. So XPSs are 5.6 per inch roughly. EPSs are 4 per inch. So you really have to break it down to what the R value is per board foot against the price. And then there's other studies that I have where the XPS, because this is a closed cell product, where this is open cell, so water can get through here and leach out easy, where this will hold water. And when it holds water, it actually over time degrades the R value of the product down to the same as EPS. So in theory, for long term, it's not a good product to buy, in my opinion, for cost versus R value. When you bury XPS below slab, again, I got studies from universities where they buried these and pulled them up after 15 years. The R value was the same as EPS, and this was waterlogged. So when it's waterlogged, it's actually conducting heat transfer where it should be preventing the heat transfer. So that's one thing. The nice thing about this is you can get it cut to any thickness you want. So if we're doing 8 inches in our standard concrete insulated panel, that would be an R32 effective. So it's a really big, high performance insulation wrap. If you can get it cut to that thickness, where XPS, polyiso, you're restricted to 4 inches thick. Same with rock wool, restricted to 4 inches thick. Rock wool is actually a good product. It's got a high carbon footprint. XPS, I think they've changed the rules now, where the blowing agent that they were using is CFCs. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's not good for the environment, whereas they're using steam to create these molds. The caveat with styrofoams, anyone, EPS or XPS, is that ants and pests and termites, they don't eat it, but they can burrow through it easy, and they love living in it. It's a great place, warm place to live. So this was out of a 1992 building, and this had 4 satellite nests in it. There was mountains of ants, like crawling through the house and dropping. They were living in the EPS, or XPS in this case. So you've got to be really particular about where you are applying this product. If you're in a rural setting, you might want to look at something like a rock wool where the pests don't eat it, or a cork. So that's where spending that extra money per board foot is I think a good insurance. Now it doesn't matter what insulation you'd like to put in the concrete CIP panels. We can accommodate them all. In this particular case, the project we have here, we've just used Tiger Lock to wrap the whole perimeter of the panel, and so now no pests can get through in any way possible. And we've also drilled holes in the bottom of the panel, because where the dew point will sit, it'll sit in the, if this is in the concrete panel, the dew point is going to sit in the middle of the insulation. And if any water does get through that 2 inches of veneer layer of concrete, it's going to run down and out the bottom. So we've drilled holes in the bottom to let water run out. Cutting the insulation. Another good thing about EPS is you can, where we buy our product from, they cut it to the dimensions we give them. So we just have the architect or designer do a layout of all the insulation cuts we want, and they cut it and label it. So it's super, super easy. And that's an XPS, you can do that, but it's not as common. And that's another benefit for labour and installation for us. They also do a batten, a cut in a batten, and the nice thing about that is we can install that on the roof, and we can cross the battens when we go to put a metal roofing on. Super slick, and that upcharge is not, it's basically double the cost, but it's saving again our time and labour. So it's using materials to cut costs and labour, because labour is expensive and it's not available. 2 inches of EPS is a vapour barrier, so it's another thing. Also, 2 inches of concrete is a vapour barrier. Polyiso or XPS, again, a vapour barrier. And obviously with a CIP system, you're getting a superior air barrier from every angle, inside, outside. And so really what the air tightness comes down to on the CIP homes is your windows, buying a real airtight window, and then we can really ramp up those air tightness on those buildings to a pretty superior product. And that's another great thing about CIP concrete homes.